1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. That sounds good? 3, 4. It's on. Okay, so down is on. Hey, Joe. Down is on.
Down is on. Okay.
Here, give him a sound check so he can adjust to your voice.
At the Downs. Welcome everybody. Joe Chris. On At the Downs, our Kentucky Derby workout show. Churchill Downs racing analyst Joe Christofek joining you. And as you can see, wet conditions here under the Twin Spires. We've taken a lot of rain over the last 24 hours or so. The racetrack right now is sealed and obviously quite a bit of moisture, sloppy conditions, and we're going to have a time period here between 8:30 and 9 o'clock Eastern time in the morning, which is restricted to Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks horses. We'll see what kind of activity we get here this morning with the inclement weather conditions. We thank you for joining us here on the live stream, and we hope you enjoy over social media. We have 14 days until Kentucky Derby 143, 13 days until the Kentucky Oaks. We have about a half a dozen of the contenders of both the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks here on the grounds. Fast and Accurate was scheduled to maybe work this morning at trackside, but they got pushed back. As you can see, J-Boy's Echo on the racetrack, trained by Dale Romans. J-Boy's Echo was the winner of the Gotham Stakes, most recently fourth in the Bluegrass. Dale Romans has finished third twice in the Kentucky Derby with Patio Prado in 2010 and with Dullahan in 2012. This one's slated to be ridden in the Derby by Robbie Alvarado, who was second in the Kentucky Derby aboard the long shot Golden Soul in 2013. J-Boy's Echo stabled here on the grounds at Churchill Downs in Barn 4. And now we're turning our attention to McCracken, who has already had quite a bit of success here at Churchill Downs. He broke his maiden here. He won the Street Sense Stakes here. He won the Kentucky Jockey Club here as a 2-year-old, winner of the Sam Davis Grade 3 race at Tampa Bay Downs, and then took a little bit of time off in between starts. The most recent race, a third in the Bluegrass Stakes. Jockey Brian Hernandez has only had one Kentucky Derby mount. This will be his second one, and it'll be the first Kentucky Derby in the career of trainer Ian Wilkes. McCracken stabled here on the grounds in Barn 26. These connections won a Breeders' Cup Classic with Fort Larned, the Woodham Thoroughbreds, Ian Wilkes and Brian Hernandez, a formidable team here at Churchill Downs throughout the years. The Kentucky Derby field is limited to 20 starters. We have a few more that would like to find their way in to the Kentucky Derby, but they'll need some defections. Obviously, the point system that was instituted a few years ago is the determining factor. Horses earn points on the road to the Kentucky Derby. The top 20 will qualify for the starting gate. And McCracken obviously gained some points last year as a 2-year-old, gained more points in the Bluegrass Stakes by finishing third. 40 points coming into the Kentucky Derby, which right now, based on what we have with the top 20, is the cutoff point, 40. But there are a couple potential defections and horses with right around 30 points who still may get into the field. Horses that are on the potential also eligible list situation. Untrapped, looking at Lee, Sonneteer, These are horses number 21, 22, and 23. As I mentioned, McCracken has 40 points, so he is in the Kentucky Derby field. Kentucky Oaks very similar in that points are earned. The top 14 will get into the field for the Kentucky Oaks, which will be run on the Friday before the Kentucky Derby, obviously. And we'll have a full field for that, as well as there are a couple of horses on the outside looking in, hoping for some defections. And as we see some Oaks horses during the course of the morning as well, we'll talk about that in more detail. As you can see, the lemony colored saddle towels are for the Kentucky Derby contenders. And when we see the Oaks horses come out, they will be identified with the pink saddle towel. Right now, McCracken and Jay Boys Echo just basically getting a leg stretcher around the track, not doing anything serious, obviously, during the course of the next couple weeks. They'll have more serious workouts on the track to obviously maintain their fitness and get them tuned up. Just before the Kentucky Derby, we'll have more horses arriving here over the course of the next several days. And, the vast majority of these horses will get a workout or two over the main track at Churchill Downs in advance of either the Kentucky Oaks or the Kentucky Derby. Did you get a good look there at J Boys Echo? Again, activity limited here on this Saturday morning at Churchill Downs due to the weather conditions. We had a lot of rain in the area, particularly over the last 6 to 8 hours. As you can see for yourself, the racetrack has been sealed. It is sloppy. It is muddy. It is definitely off. Right now, the two horses we do have on the track that are Kentucky Derby contenders are J Boys Echo, who is pictured, and McCracken. Again, Dawn at the Downs, presented by twinspires.com, can be seen now and, through Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby, presented by twinspires.com. 13 days away from the Oaks, 14 days away from Kentucky Derby 143. J Boys Echo just cantering around the track, very relaxed. Same for McCracken as he passes the finish line here at Churchill Downs. Again, just a little bit of a leg stretcher for these two Kentucky Derby contenders here this morning. Stretching out their legs, not doing obviously anything too serious over this off track here today. Again, McCracken, one of only a few horses in the Kentucky Derby prospective field who has experience here at Churchill Downs, and obviously winning experience. A perfect 3 for 3 over this track. Broke the maiden at first asking, and anyone that follows Thoroughbred Racing knows that when Ian Wilkes wins with a first-time starter, it's not an everyday occurrence. So this horse turned heads right away in his career debut, came right back and won the Street Sense, came right back in his two-turn debut, and won the Kentucky Jockey Club, won the Sam F. Davis in his 2017 three-year-old debut. And took a little bit of time off in between starts, a little bit of an ankle issue at that point, but never really was taken out of serious training. He just took a little bit of time off, skipped the Tampa Bay Derby, and was pointed to the Bluegrass instead. He had not raced from February the 11th through April the 8th, but finished a good third and earned enough points to get into the Kentucky Derby. And common belief is he will take a major step forward. He loves this racetrack and seems to be doing very, very well right now. You can see the exercise rider with a good hold of McCracken as he's feeling good this morning. He's trying to do a little bit more. McCracken has been right on time with his training since the Bluegrass Stakes. He's scheduled to work here at Churchill Downs again in the next couple days. He's going to have two works leading up to the Kentucky Derby. As you can see, he wants to work today. Again, if you're just joining us on the live stream, Joe Christofek, Churchill Downs racing analyst with the Dawn at the Downs Kentucky Derby workout program presented by twinspires.com. Again, a lot of rain in the area over the last 12 to 24 hours. You could see the racetrack is a sea of slop, mud, mess, and limited activity here this morning. The first day where the training between 8:30 and 9 o'clock is restricted to the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks contenders. You'll see Kentucky Derby contender there, McCracken, identifiable in that yellowish lemony color saddle towel. The Kentucky Oaks contenders will be identified obviously with the traditional pink saddle towels over the course of the next couple of weeks during training hours. As you can see, McCracken being ponied off the track here momentarily. He's pretty much accomplished everything he needed to this morning with a very light day of training. Again, a look at McCracken. They're one of a handful of Kentucky Derby horses who are on the grounds right now. Classic Empire is here for trainer Mark Casse. He's in barn 36. Of course, the Arkansas Derby winner. He went out a little bit earlier this morning. Also on the grounds here at Churchill Downs, J-Boy Zecco, who we saw training a little bit earlier. He's in Dale Roman's barn 4. State of Honor, also trained by Mark Casse, his stablemate Classic Empire. They are both in barn 36. State of Honor hitting the toe board in the Davis, Tampa Bay Derby, and the Florida Derby in his last 3 starts. Hence is here. He's in barn 38 for Steve Asmussen. He's number 14 on the Kentucky Derby points list. Fast and Accurate is over a trackside from Mike Maker. He was going to work this morning, but they've decided to delay the work based on the weather. McCracken, who we've had a good look at this morning, he's in barn 26 for trainer Ian Wilkes. And then horses who are on the outside looking in for Steve Asmussen. Untrapped is on the grounds, as is Looking at Lee. They are with Hence in barn 38. And again, the racetrack is restricted to Kentucky Derby and Oaks contenders between 8:30 and 8:45. The racetrack is open back up to the general population of horses at 8:45. So you're going to see in our shot here horses that are not Oaks and Derby contenders back training here at Churchill Downs and the later stages of the morning. A little bit more activity now with just the general population of horses. Again, this is the Dawn of the Downs workout show presented by TwinSpires.com. Not a lot of activity, obviously, this morning. We're going to have more horses arriving in the coming days. Better weather, better racetrack conditions, obviously more serious workouts and very important workouts, because how these horses are training leading up to the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, how well they handle the track at Churchill Downs, obviously very important.